I'm always concerned with marketing and are you as a user getting the value that you need. See, spray gun companies, they don't want to send me their spray guns because they're concerned that I'm going to give a brutally honest opinion and hurt the sales. I work for the customer, I don't work for the big companies. Well, welcome back to this episode of Paint Society, the channel where the learning doesn't stop when the video ends. In the last video, we debuted the D1 Drizzle Pro and you got my reactions, whether they're good or bad, but today we're gonna decide, do you need to spend the extra $100 to get the Drizzle Pro, or can you still get the same result with the original under $100 D1 Drizzle? And stay tuned towards the end of the video because we're gonna take both of these guns home, hook them up to my home compressor, and see which one makes my home compressor work much harder. Here's what we have going on. We have a tailgate to paint and we have a bumper to paint. This bumper we're gonna paint with the D1 OG original Drizzle paint gun, and we're gonna use the Drizzle Pro for the tailgate. First up, we have our original D1 Drizzle, and again, we're using their disposable cup system. Now, my complaint with both of these guns is really they take a lot of pressure to atomize, so we're gonna test it out on their gauge again. We're using the gauges that come with the actual kit. One thing I liked about both spray guns is they come with everything you're gonna need to get started. Now, with the D1, the original, it came with a couple more fluid tip sizes. With the D1 Pro, it just comes with the 1.3 for base and a 1.3 for clear. All right, the original D1 Drizzle. We're taking around 40 PSI. And nothing here sticking to the wall, so we're gonna use this piece of cardboard and we're gonna test out that fan. You can see how big that fan is, all right? So that fan actually went a little bit over the cardboard, and then we're gonna take our D1 Drizzle Pro and we'll do a comparison right next to it. Now that is a very nice fan, and some might say, well, why do you need a big fan, or why do people obsess over a fan? Well, if the fan is bigger, it's going to be able to atomize better. You're going to be able to cover more of an area. If you have a smaller fan, you have to do more passes, more overspray, more paint. You see where I'm going here? So that's why I was very surprised to see when the new Drizzle Pro came out, whether it's a completely new design or a clone of something else. I'm not here for politics. I was just very surprised to see that that would be called the Drizzle Pro and not like the Drizzle Mini or something like that. Not to replace the actual D1 Drizzle, but be an added paint gun to the INOKRAFT line. And we can see that laid it down pretty good. We're gonna put one more coat on it, and I've got a couple more things to say about this spray gun. So we found around 40 PSI, maybe around 38, is doing the trick for base. And like I said, that is a lot of pressure. We never use that amount of pressure with any of our other spray guns. So that was a valid concern of mine. Again, having that much pressure needed when this is supposed to be LVLP. You know, I don't hold back on my reviews because I want you as a user to make the best possible decision. One thing I hate about this gun personally is this dang trigger is so resistant. It's like you get a workout when you push it. And that also has to do with the internals and the needle. How well the needle and the fluid tip work together. Is there any resistance between those two? And a lot goes into the machinery and the production of each and every one of these spray guns. So you'll find that a cheaper product is gonna have cheaper internals. And this video really isn't to compare this against any other paint brand spray guns. That's not what I'm about. But I will tell you, if there's any spray guns within this range, the Aero Pro, the Aero Pro 608, this A610, those spray guns are going to be very similar to this spray gun. I do like the way the Aero Pro 608 sprays a little bit better, but it doesn't come with everything you need like the original D1. It comes with the regulator, comes with the fluid tips. So that is kind of my problem with that spray gun, but it does spray well. Now, what is INOKRAFT trying to do, in my opinion? They're trying to get into the big leagues with the Pro, but this is not a big league gun. Again, I feel like this should have been released as a mini spray gun. However, will it work, and is it an improvement on the original D1? I chose this one because I'm going to be using it for the tailgate. It's kind of a little nimble to get in and out of all those tight areas. Maybe it will have its purpose for certain parts. We're gonna check that out. Now what we're gonna do is put this right back on here, just like this, and we're good to go. We remember our D1 Drizzle. Now, we're gonna hold the same distance and see what the fan pattern looks like. Okay, we can see here it's significantly smaller than the original D1 Drizzle. Obviously, it's a smaller gun, smaller components, it's gonna be a smaller fan. But is that gonna be helpful for us, or is it gonna deter from the actual atomization of the spray gun? That is up to me to determine and to let you know. And I noticed when I did that spray out, it had a little bit of a top area that was kind of curved. Let me try that again. So, not sure what's up with the curve here. Everything's clean. I've only used this one time, so we're gonna see if that affects anything. And these are the things that you're gonna deal with, guys, when getting these cheaper spray guns. The components are not gonna be similar to more of an expensive spray gun, where they might wear out easier. I mean, honestly, it probably just is a little bit dirty, but to my eye, I cannot catch anything. Now, again, with that smaller fan, a few more passes, a lot more paint in the air, but a little bit more easier to control. I felt like it was a good idea to use this spray gun for in here. But again, a little gun like this, we got to pump it up to 40 PSI, and someone made a comment, that's how LVLP spray guns work. They needed that more pressure to atomize. I mean, guys, I don't know everything in the world, but that made a little bit more sense to me when that person said that. All right, this is black on black, so that's gonna be fine. Oh my God, I tell you, anything or everything will happen. Look at this. If I don't fix this problem right now, it's gonna be a big problem. I'm gonna save you. Oh, all right. If I don't save you, I can't save my paint job. We're gonna save you, promise you, and we're not even gonna put you in the mixing room. We're gonna set you free to live and to not destroy this paint job. Because you guys right here, once you get stuck, you're never coming out. All right, I know I'm holding your tail there. I don't want you to get away and get run over by a car. Live free. Free. You don't want to go. You don't want to go. Come on, man. There you go. That's how you save a paint job. So anyways, business as usual. That base was dry enough, so it's not going to be a problem. Now, this is the only place you see, so I'm going to put one more coat on. And for base, guys, it's functioning very well. I think it really depends on what you're spraying. I don't think a lot of you guys are going to be spraying your full car, but maybe just panels in your garage if you're doing yourselfer. This might be the better option for you in that case. But clear coat is really where I determine how well a spray gun can perform. And we just took out the 1.3B, and now we're going to put the 1.3C in. From what I've seen, the 1.3C has a bigger diameter fluid tip. But here's my kind of confusion about this whole situation, is that the air cap is the biggest contributing factor to between base coat and clear coat. Not so much the fluid tip. All they did is really open up the fluid tip, it looks like, and call that the clear coat. So again, I'm always concerned with marketing, and are you as a user getting the value that you need? See, spray gun companies, they don't want to send me their spray guns because they're concerned that I'm going to give a brutally honest opinion and hurt the sales. I work for the customer, I don't work for the big companies. And this is my honest opinion to you all. I'm not digging or agreeing with the 1.3B or the 1.3C as a means of marketing, saying that this could be a base coat and clear coat gun. To me personally, it's just a bigger diameter of an actual fluid tip size. That means you just have to move a little bit quicker with it. But we're gonna use a 1.3C with our tailgate for our Drizzle Pro. And we have our D1 Drizzle, the original. We're gonna start on the bumper right now. We have our clear coat mixed up. We're locked and loaded. We're gonna spray down that bumper and give you a little more insight about the clear coat of the original D1. We're gonna have the pressure right around 40 PSI. Now the thing about spray guns is you don't know what you don't know. So if you guys don't know how a spray gun, a top of the line spray gun should function, then you really don't have anything to compare it to. Now this is laying it down nice, and with that wider fan, again, it just covers more of an area. But I just can't help to mention that the trigger is just weird. When it pulls back, it feels like nails on a chalkboard. It gives like a weird sound, a weird feel. And again, although it's not the biggest deal, what happens if this spray gun is not completely clean? One problem I have, one thing I noticed is that do-it-yourselfers never really clean the gun too well all the time because they don't know how. So if this starts to get a buildup on it, that little resistance in that fluid tip and trigger is going to be even tougher. So keeping any spray gun clean, no matter what it is, cheap, budget, or expensive, is paramount to any paint job. I like the way I can move with this spray gun much faster than the Drizzle Pro, I'll say that much. And here it is after the first coat. Not perfect by a long shot, but good enough for a second coat. Some orange peel, not due to the gun, but just by moving a little bit faster. And here's one thing I did notice, is that the original D1 does struggle a little bit to atomize and break up the clear coat. What do you have to do to get a nicer, smoother finish? Well, you kind of got to go over it a couple more times. What's the problem with that? Well, you start to build up the clear a little bit more than you want. That can lead to run or solvent pop. Again, all clears are a little bit different. This one's a little bit thicker and harder to spray. That's why I wanted to use both of these spray guns to see if it gets up to the challenge. Now, we're going to change out our clear to the 1.3C on the Drizzle Pro and see if this can break it up any better. It might be just a little bit quicker as far as the clear coming out, but you're going to do a lot more passes in a short amount of time. See, anyone can take any spray gun and get a good finish, but can it do it consistently each and every time? The Drizzle Pro, is it an upgrade? I don't know. I'm watching the paint right now, that's why I'm not doing a lot of talking, because I want to be able to give you a little bit more of an honest opinion, because right now, fresh in my head, is the D1 original. And the trigger is an improvement. It's not great, but it's a big improvement from the original. And with that first coat down, it laid it down really nice. Very similar, a couple areas that might be a little dry, not too worried about it. Let that clear get on there, let it tack up for about 10 minutes or so, and then we can lay down that second coat. But now that the clear is all done for the first coat, we'll take our clear coat off of our Pro. We're gonna head back in there, and we're gonna see if I feel let down by going back to the original. And we're ready for our second coat. And one thing I'm gonna tell you guys, these are definitely not the same guns. That's not atomizing the way I want too much. I'm gonna bump up the pressure a little bit here. I need a little bit more pressure. The feel, the makeup, everything is different about these guns. So I would question and know if this is actually from another company, or like I said, a lot of you have suggested that. I'm not really here to say one way or another, but if you're wondering, it definitely feels much different. Even these areas are a little bit different to get into than the actual Drizzle Pro. And I never thought I'd say it, but I'm kind of missing the Drizzle Pro right now. I'm not missing how small the fan is. I will say that, I'm not missing that. But I'm missing how precise it is and nimble it is to get in these areas. Now, if you're painting a whole car, ooh, that's going to take a long time with the Drizzle Pro. That's why you want to stay towards the end of the video, and I'm going to tell you what I'm already thinking about either gun and where you are as far as your project is concerned or your professional level of painting and what decision you should make. But that looks beautiful. For under $100, this thing is always on sale. I don't think I've ever even seen it for $100, but $100 is how much I've seen it, the highest I've seen it. But for $100, I mean, can you complain? Can you really complain? Granted, we're in a booth, but it's atomizing the clear well enough. With a little bit of skill, you can get it done. But let's switch off to the Pro and finish this one off. We're back on here. Now, one thing you can do with any of these disposable cup systems, you hold it upside down, and we need to eliminate all this air. Holding it upside down creates a vacuum because this is going to pull all the air out. So when you're doing this, yeah, it's going to waste a little bit of clear, but it's just so hard to get underneath these parts. And by getting underneath these parts with a full suction, you know you're not going to get spurts of clear. You're going to get full clear on those areas. So once it starts to spray full clear, like that, now we have full clear here. Now when I'm under here, I know that I'm not going to have any problems of dry spray all of a sudden because it decides to spray air because this is on a slant. So that little tip right there that you might not even known will really help you out when spraying any of these parts. See? Perfect. Now I can come in here. Very nice. I really like how this gun fits into many different areas very well. Perfect. I don't have to do the whole thing just to where the edge is. Come up here, down there. Very nice. Come up top. Sometimes you can hold your gun at a 45 to get these areas nice and wet without worrying about running it. And then we can come back here, flip it up the way I want to paint it. And that is the beauty of having a stand just like this. So being able to have both spray guns in my hand, side by side, painting exact same paint, same parts, really feel like I can make an honest opinion about each spray gun and why one might be more beneficial to you. There's no doubt each spray gun is a very good spray gun for the price. And I want to help you determine which is better. And these are the results with the Drizzle Pro. A nice smooth finish, a couple pieces of trash, nothing to do with the spray gun at all. But this came out really good. A couple little nibs here and there to buff out, a nice smooth finish. What more could you ask for? Again though, D1 original, nice smooth finish. What more could you ask for? How do you make the decision? Which one do you buy? Well, for that, it's really going to come down to one more final test. Taking them home and hooking it up to my compressor and seeing which one turns the compressor on first. And we have our stopwatch right here, and it's set to 40 PSI with the trigger pulled. We're going to pull it all the way. So here we go. "25 seconds is when this turned on for the Drizzle D1 Pro. Let's check out the original right now. And again, we're set at 40 PSI when it triggers pulled, and all of the settings are exactly the same. We're gonna go ahead and put it on our stopwatch right here. Ready, set, go. "36. Wow. And at a whopping 11 seconds longer for my air compressor to kick on, that really changes what I thought of the original D1 Drizzle compared to the Pro. It actually is a smaller gun that requires more air and more of your compressor. Now, this is a 3060. It's a 30-gallon, but it can keep up like a 60. That is why it is a 3060, the name. Now, with these two spray guns, getting back to what I originally thought of them in the beginning, is that this should never have been a replacement for this gun. It's a bigger gun. This gun, in my opinion, is great for spraying more bigger panels. bigger areas to paint, 2 or 3, 4 panels, a whole car. This is gonna get it done for you and still under $100 and with more fluid tips to get the job done. This is gonna take much longer. We saw earlier in the video the difference on the spray fan pattern. That is a big deal when it comes to spraying a car. So here's what I think. Should you get one or the other? If you're a guy that wants to spray its whole car and you're looking for a great gun for under $100 that comes with everything, this is a gun for you, especially if you're gonna be doing a whole car at once and you wanna use less air pressure. This is gonna be better on your air compressor. Don't get this gun if you wanna spray your whole car. It's gonna take too long. It's not as big of a gun, so it's not gonna have that nice fan pattern. It's a little bit more money, and it's gonna take up more of your air compressor's air. Now, think about it. 11 seconds is a long time, and you're continuously painting, that's gonna make your compressor run longer, create more moisture in those airlines, and you can have contamination in your airline. If you're looking for a nice little nifty gun, that's really not gonna be a big deal for painting a bumper or 1 or 2 panels. This is the gun for you, because that 11 seconds won't matter as much when it comes to painting something small, because your compressor is gonna have the time to keep up. If you're doing something much bigger, no, you're in luck, because for only $100, you can go back to the D1 Drizzle, the original. Now, both of these are linked in the description. You can choose which one you want to get, but I want to leave you with the fair and honest opinion for both of these spray guns so you can make the best choice for yourself. Guys, this is Brian from Paint Society reminding you, don't overthink it. It's just paint. See you guys on the next episode.